I, F, 25, found out that my boyfriend, M, 26, drunk texted his girl best friend saying that he wished he was single and could go back to Tinder to swipe and hook up. I have been with my boyfriend officially for more than 2 months now. We met on Bumble 3 years ago, dated a couple of times and didn't feel like we clicked at that point but kept in touch on and off for the past 3 years. It was only recently we felt it's the right time to commit to each other. He has introduced me to a couple of his friends, met his family, we traveled together. Sex is great, and to be honest, things are all great whenever we spend time together. However, when my boyfriend is drunk, he acts differently. He drunk texted me yesterday asking for nudes. I was okay with it and I sent. I was rather worried of how he would behave whenever he is drunk because he used to do that to random girls all the time before we got together. Just sending girls bunch of drunk texts asking for sex and calling them babes. Next, I know what I did was wrong but I let my intuition to take over. I apologize for breaking that trust, and yes, I took his phone and found out a conversation he drunk texted one of his close girlfriend. Let's call her Maggie. For more context about Maggie, he actually met her on Tinder 4 years ago. He told me they only met once but decided to stay as friends because they live in different city and there weren't much progression. They do text very frequently and most of the time it's just Maggie ranting to him about the dudes she is dating and she wanted to get my boyfriend's perspective on it. However, I also did have my suspicions about her in the beginning because I felt that it was a one-sided friendship. I felt that my boyfriend is attracted to her and have some sort of emotional bond developed with her but she kind of friendzoned him. He used to always drunk text her too, calling her babes and actually tried to sleep with her but she didn't entertain. I brought this up to my boyfriend and he reassured that it's just pure friendship. Maggie also knows about my existence. I wanted to believe that it's pure friendship so I didn't tell him to cut her off, and I never will control who he wants to be friends with. Now back to his phone. I saw that he drunk texted Maggie. He did try to call her B, as in babe, but he knew it was a mistake. Anyway, he told her that he wished he was single so that he could swipe on Tinder and hook up with chicks on a rotational basis but he couldn't do that now because he is in a relationship. He told her that the only thing would be nice is that if I had bigger tits. He also said he would rather give up our relationship than to give up drinking. Also bear in mind that he said all those things when he was in a drunken state. I literally was shaking after reading the conversation and I know it's not the worst situation to be in, but I definitely didn't feel great and it has broke my relationship. My boyfriend kept apologizing to me, saying that he was too drunk to think rationally. He also said when he is sober he doesn't have those thoughts about our relationship at all, it's only when he is drunk. I told him those thoughts are probably on his mind subconsciously when he is sober. He doesn't drink often, probably once or twice every 2 weeks whenever his colleagues suggest for a drink after work. Anyway, I don't drink at all so I never understood how it's like to be drunk. I am working on solving that issue with my boyfriend but I don't think it will be solved because the trust is already broken, which he said he will work towards rebuilding that. He also admitted to kinda have feelings for Maggie because she's attractive and so he said he will cut her off. He told me he will also start going to therapy to figure things out. He has never been in a relationship before, so to break away from his Tinder habit and learning new boundaries are all kinda new to him. I did ask if he wanted to break up so that he can have more freedom but he said no and he is happy in our relationship. I was convinced so we agreed on working towards those things together moving forward. In the back of my mind, I just feel broken. On one hand, I am not sure if what my boyfriend did was forgivable and if being drunk is an excuse for those behavior and rude remarks about our relationship. Though he had those impulses of going back to Tinder when he was drunk, he didn't actually do it because he knew he has to be faithful. On the other hand, my boyfriend is sweet and nice towards me when he is sober. He would tell me I am amazing and he knows he is lucky to have me. After all that happened, I just am having a hard time moving forward and I'm trying to forgive. And unfortunately, we will have to do a long-distance relationship for 1 to 2 years starting February next year because he will be moving away for work. I am losing confidence to even think that we will work out. Any advice will be helpful, thanks in advance. TLDR. My boyfriend drunk texted his Tinder girl best friend that he wished he was single and could go back to Tinder, but he is frustrated cause he is in a relationship now. However, when he is sober, he told me he is happy in this relationship and doesn't want to seek anything from Tinder. It will not work out. Even if it did, you will spend the entirety of your relationship trying to make him fully committed to you. He has impulse control problems, and one of which is talking to other girls. I know guys like him. We all get our validation and attention from something. Some guys are just insecure and they get their sense of self-worth by talking to other girls. They feel themselves when they're sleeping and talking to different girls. It's a lot more common than you think. Do you really want to be in a relationship with a guy who will always want to cheat when he's drunk? I understand why some women would want to stay with a guy like this if they have a house together, kids, or have been with for a long time and have not seen the major red flags until later on. You've been with this guy for 2 months and there's legit zero reasons for you to stay with him. I would say it's utter stupidity to even humor a long-term thing with him. It's a recipe for a disaster. Just end it. Don't be an idiot. I am sorry if I am being rude, but you need a wake-up call. From what you told, I can infer: 1. He has alcohol problem and needs intervention. 2. Not fully committed to you. Your intuition is correct that this will not work out. It might end up in cheating unless he does something to rectify his alcohol problem. But the alcohol problem is just the start. Unless he can show some actual respect to other women, he is going to be disrespectful to them and to you. I won't say you should break up, but don't expect this relationship to last the LDR fire. Break up immediately. Same boat. I stayed too long. Don't do it to yourself. You've been given an out so early on. Please, you don't do it. I know you want to, otherwise you wouldn't have made this post to get negative feedback to validate your feeling RN in the moment, but go back to him after. Please listen to your gut. You need to let him know that when he writes these texts, being drunk isn't a valid excuse. He knows when he gets drunk he will text others in ways that are disrespectful to you and will hurt you and undermine your trust in him. So by choosing to drink to that point, he has chosen to treat you badly. That texting other girls, calling them babe and asking for sex is already a step over the cheating line. That what he texted to Maggie was so far over the line, it's like the line is in North America and he stepped into Europe. Not only did he talk down about being in a relationship with you, he was talking about your body in a negative way. If you dumped him now, no one could blame you. If you want to continue in the relationship, he needs to be aware that it isn't the alcohol's fault, it's the person who chooses to drink too much alcohol. And if he continues as he is, he'll be able to swipe Tinder for meaningless sex all he wants, but he won't have all the great things that come with a good relationship.